Who's that Pokemon? It's new Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo Switch. This game was provided by the Maryland Library System, and I'm fairly certain it's going to be claimed in about a week. So I'm going to have to play this game sooner rather than later. This is a first-person... Okay, I'm supposed to say it's a first-person shooter. It's actually a first-person camera shooter, I guess you could call it. It's a legit rail shooter. A shockingly non-violent rail shooter, similar to the Nintendo 64 game that apparently preceded this game about, 20 years ago? I barely played it. I played it at a kiosk back in the day. It's a game where it's like a rail shooter. You follow a designated course, and in this case, instead of shooting things with a gun, you shoot them with a camera. Which conceptually, I admit, I've always been fascinated by. I never got a chance to play the original Pokemon Snap a lot on the Nintendo 64, but now I'm finally playing this game. How do you play this game? Where you zoom in with the L and ZL buttons. You can move the camera with the left stick. You can turn around. I didn't know you can turn around. I guess we'll do that later. Take a photo with the A button. And apparently the idea is to center your subject in the center of the screen and make it as large as possible within the center of the screen. So you want it to feature prominently in the center of the screen, which I believe will be explained at some other point. Zoom in if you can. Show a Pokemon large and centered on the screen. Snap it when it's looking this way, and try to catch exciting moments. Like different poses will get you different score. Will get you different score values. Again, if this were a first-person shooter with a gun, you'd be shooting people when they're not blocking, when they're not, hiding. You'd be shooting people when they don't have human shields, that kind of thing. But since this game doesn't involve guns, but cameras, you're trying to take your shot when your subject has the proper pose, basically. That kind of thing. And if there's other Pokemon in the shot when you shoot your shot, you get bonus points for that too. So again, timing actually does kind of matter in this game. We'll see how it goes. It's not just about pointing and shooting. The number of stars indicates the category of a Pokemon's behavior. It's important to collect all the categories, 1 star through 4 stars. Scores based on the timing of your photo, that's the pose. Score based on the size of the Pokemon in your photo, that's of course, like I said, how large is it within the frame. Score based on the direction the Pokemon are facing. Facing the camera is usually best, but some side views are okay. Score based on the placement of your subject. Generally, it's best to keep it in the center. You'll get more points if there are other Pokemon in the photo along with your subject. Certain backgrounds will add to your score, so yeah. The mise-en-scene, I suppose. The color of the star depends on the total number of points. There are 4 different colors in total. That's value number 4 up there. Right around here. We'll restart from the beginning once I establish the basics. I already know how to play the game. By the way, you can have Japanese voice acting, which is what I've set up for this video. Don't complain. Stay mad. Good enough. There's motion controls, which we will not be using for this video because I'm playing with a gamepad, so screw that. Playing with an 8-bit DOE controller. Although, now that I think about it, by the way, I have a zoom mode set to toggle, because toggles are always better than holds, in my opinion. I seem to recall, the original N64 game obviously had a square aspect ratio, so it made more sense if you were centering shots. But now you have a wider screen. You have a wider screen that you're playing on, because that's what the Nintendo Switch is made for. So you're probably have to work a little bit harder to get the stuff centered in the middle of the screen. So I'm kind of curious how that'll go. He's facing away, but whatever. Press the L. Remember, the L button, the zoom is on toggle. Get rid of the zoom. And we can use the D-pad to rotate 90 degrees, like in Panzer Dragoon. And as I haven't mentioned this before, there are ways to make first-person shooters that are non-violent. The first way is to do, like, some really bizarre video game that's not appropriate for children, which we will not be talking about during this video. And the Switch has a couple of games like that. The other way is to do this, and I think it's kind of brilliant conceptually. It's one of those, why didn't I think of that kind of ideas for a rail shooter? If I were good, I would have gotten all the birds in that shot. See, I got a bunch of birds in that shot, so that'll probably help. Yeah. Like I said, I kind of like this idea. The idea of doing this Panzer Dragoon stuff without, actually having to shoot weapons. And you can kind of hold... Whoop, I missed that. And there was a Magikarp in that shot, so that works. See, that works. So getting multiple Pokemon in one shot will help. And I do like being able to use the D-pad to rotate 90 degrees. Well, I think I missed one. Yeah, missed it. I got it in the corner shot, so whatever. Got it in the bum. Yeah, missed. Yeah, that might have counted. I think getting them in the mountains might have counted. Yeah, they're hiding behind the tree. That Hoot Titan. I managed to get it. How many pictures am I allowed to have in my reel here? Like, I have 40 more shots I can take. Check the top right-hand corner of the screen. Zoom out. There we go. And we got a few more, we got multiple Pokemon in this shot. Wonder if I can just delete a shot that I know I don't want. What's that in the background? Probably doesn't count. Whoop, give me that. Good enough. I don't recognize... yeah, there's no Butterfrees in here. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these Pokemon. Oh, that symbol? There we go. So we're out. So I left 19 shots on the table. Yeah, I still had 19 shots in my reel. 19 bullets in the chamber, one could say. Yeah, his name is Professor Mirror, and I think he's also at the Lens Academy, so we'll go along with it. Only 10? Yeah, I photographed 10 different Pokemon, okay. One photo per Pokemon. So I want the picture where the Pokemon is featured most prominently in the center of the screen. So let's go back a bit. What we got here for the Vivillon? Again, I thought this might have been a Butterfree. I guess it's not. I know that much about Pokemon. Your boy knows a Butterfree. So there are no 2-star shots, huh? Canceling that one. So the first one looks best because it has 2 Pokemon in the shot. Compare. So I hold down the X button to compare. I don't know what comparing actually does, but whatever. The first one looks best. That one's kind of off-center, but it's bigger. That one has more Pokemon in the background, but it's off-center. So maybe 1 and 9, or 1 and 8. So we'll try that one. There's an auto function I'm not going to use yet. What's the professor say? If I press the plus button, you haven't selected. Okay, I don't want to show all. I want to show every. Yeah. So when you're ready, you press the plus button to show the professor your best shots. These are both pretty good. Oh, there is a 2-star. Yeah, this is the 2-star shot. Okay, so I definitely want this one. It's a 2-star shot. These are all 1 stars. None of these are particularly good, so I guess we'll go with this one, though it's not that amazing. I'm guessing what the value of these scores will be. There are no 2-star shots here. No, this one has multiples in it. This one might be the best one, I guess. It ain't great, but I kind of like the composition, I suppose. Give me that. Remove check marks from selected photos. What's the point of comparing these? Yeah, I don't see what the point is of comparing those. Halo. Huh. I guess we're going with number 2. None of these are great, but this one has 3 Talos in it, so I guess we'll go with this one. The Bidoof. That's not a great shot. That one. I guess we'll go with number 3. I think we're going with number 3. The Magikarp. That's the only one that's of any value, I think. It's close enough. Different angle, of course. Neither of these is good. So I guess we'll go with this one. Neither of them is great. Comfy. Because it's sharing the shot with multiple Pokemon, so it could be any one of these. Oh, there's a 2-star shot. That's a 2. These are 2-star shots. How could this be a 2-star shot? It doesn't look like it should be. I mean, I'll take it because it has a lot of flowers in it, so maybe it's worth something. I don't know. You have a 3-star shot here. That's a 3-star shot, apparently. Okay, so we'll show those to the professor by pressing the plus button. Huh? Yeah, we do.
Yoshi.
Yosh. It's alright, I guess. So we got a new photo. So there are other Pokemon in the photo, so it's worth more points, mainly because the Pokemon is featured more prominent. The Pokemon in the shot is larger. It takes up a larger portion of the picture, I guess. But the direction value is lower, as is the placement value. But I got a higher score, so that's good. Guess size matters. We'll keep that one because it has a higher value. Dodrio. Shin Hankenda. Something caught its attention. Most likely me. Actually, no, it was chasing down some other birds. It went and landed and chased away some other birds. Good size value on that one. That's a 2-star. As they predicted when I selected it. It was predicted that would be a 2-star shot. Bigger the better, I guess. He likes big birds and he cannot lie. This is not a great shot. We're not going to get a high score for this one. At least he's supportive. That size value was way larger than I thought it was going to be. They're calling that a 1-star. I'm actually kind of shocked. That was way more points than I was expecting for such a tiny subject. Pretty good size value. No values for the background, I guess. So we got 3 in the shot, so they'll probably give me other Pokemon. They'll probably give you an other Pokemon bonus because there's multiple Pokemon in the shot. The size is not great. Yeah, they gave me some extra points for having other Pokemon in the shot. Try getting close-ups. Well, good luck with that, son. I don't think I was ever close enough to get that many of them. Maybe later. Placement's good, I guess. Another 1-star. Looks like a high 1-star shot. And that was the only Magikarp shot that was actually any good. Again, this is one of the few Pokemon actually know. Yeah, I thought the size value would be larger, but whatever. We're not gonna get much for that Hoot Hoot. We're not gonna get much for that Hoot Hoot. Holla back, homie. Holla back, homie. Your subject's dead center, even though it's hidden inside the trees. I don't know what you're expecting out of me for this. So all my shots here have a pose score of 500. Oh well, fine. Guess they aren't that picky. Yeah, so I got a lower value for the pose because it wasn't doing anything all that interesting. And there were other Pokemon in the shot. And first of all, I don't think it was looking straight at me, but it liked all the flowers and the mountains in the background. So that counts, I guess, for a bonus. 2 stars. I think this was a 3-star shot. So it doesn't like the pose, but they called it a 3-star shot. And there were other Pokemon. Why are they calling this a 3-star shot? Despite the lower point value. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I don't know what they were talking about with those 3-star shots. Huh. Haven't leveled up yet. So when my level goes up, I can redo the first level, I suppose. Get different poses. That means gain the photographs of them in every category from... Okay. Alright. So that's what they were talking about. So I know how many shots I'm allowed to take. Because I know I have like 100, you know... I have 100 shots in my camera roll, I suppose. I don't know, it looks like... It felt like my first shot, if I'm being honest. Felt like my first trip here in Jurassic Park, where I'm not supposed to leave the rail tracks. Never leave the path in Jurassic Park. So we'll save the photos to the album and see what's going on here. Save your album, which is in your space in the life, and also resnap to make some changes. Well, maybe not. Can I just save them all? I don't want to save them all. Let's just save a few good ones. Yeah, I don't want to save any of these other crappy ones. Let's just save the ones with a lot going on in them, I guess. Some of these I just think are cute because I like the way they're composed, even though the animal isn't really featured in them. And this one just feels like a happy accident. No subject on that one. Guess I accidentally took a shot of that one. We want the mountains in that one. I think I'm particularly proud of that shot. Your boy's gonna be the next Ridley Scott. Order snapped. And return to camp, I guess. So yeah, we did alright, all things considered. Like I said, this game could be really interesting, despite how unambitious it is mechanically. Although, like I said, it has more going on than you might expect from a game of its type. I forgot what her name is. Is it Rita? No, it's Rita Moreno. Yeah, Rita Moreno. That's her name. See? Rita Moreno. I really dig her purple pigtails. I think it's a cute touch. Purple ponytails. I realize that the Pokemon games are somewhat better about like being inclusive of female characters in a lot of video games of its era, which seems weird. I admit, I get the impression that Nintendo realized that a lot of young ladies like playing these games, so they're a lot more inclusive of them than I would have expected back. Well, maybe in the late '90s it wasn't as good. In the post Lara Croft, post Chun-Li era. But they always do pretty good at getting a variety of female characters in these games, so I appreciate that much. Not something I would have expected from a game in the '90s. But again, this is a Nintendo game. The Pokemon games are usually pretty reasonable about that from my very limited knowledge of those games. Auto upload photos. Not really. Why would I auto upload photos? Why would I auto upload Never mind. I'm not trying to look at other people's. I'm not trying to look at other people. I'm not trying to slide to other people's DMs and look at their photos. They're unsolicited Pokemon pics. Not that kind of channel. And we'll do that later. So we'll do another video in a second, but I just wanted to establish the basics. What version is this? Version 1.0, imagine that. So I recorded this particular audio with my Skull Candy earbuds into the audio splitter. J5 Create USB-C capture device into my quad-core laptop. With the Windows 10 camera app capturing this at 60 frames a second, which seems entirely unnecessary. We'll see. Well, I'll probably keep it at 60. We'll see how it goes.